So it finishes full time then. Southampton 0, Aston Villa 1. Villa pick up another victory in the league at a place where a lot of people were thinking for a draw today, but me personally, I was going for the win. And luckily Villa have pulled it out the bag. Another great result, isn't it? It's a really bloody great result. Considering how the game was throughout the majority of it before the goal by Ollie Watkins, very dire. I wasn't going to be surprised if it was going to be a draw again. Admittedly, it would have been a shame if it was a 0-0. But ultimately, Villa do pull it out the bag. It was okay. It was okay. You know what I mean? Ultimately, sometimes you can't look too much on the performances of a game. You sometimes got to take the result for what it is. And considering we've ultimately gone and got that result, that's all that really matters, isn't it? This isn't going to be a game that we're going to look back on and think we could have done better here, we could have done better there. Ultimately, we've got that goal, we've seen it out for the rest of the 10 minutes, and we've won the game. In terms of the game itself, really, not much to talk about. Although Villa, I think, were better in the first and second half, and ultimately the better team of the game. It was Southampton that would probably really come away with this feeling the most unlucky at all. Having the ball in the back of the net twice, first few minutes of the game. Che Adams had the ball in the back of the net, but he was ruled offside. And then the really more contentional one, the more controversial one, from James Ward-Prowse. James Ward-Prowse having the ball in the back of the net. Again, this time it goes to VAR for a very soft foul on Jacob Ramsey. Now, personally for me, I don't think it's a foul. I don't really see why it's gone. Looking on commentary, they've said it's not only perhaps the nudge on the back, but it's also that he made connection with Jacob Ramsey's back of the foot, Achilles area. So it's like, I think for me personally, though, I think it's very soft to give that from the referees, and it really takes it away from Southampton, because you got to think at that point they were having all the momentum, they were really piling it onto Villa trying to stay defensively resolute, but ultimately they give that goal away and you're thinking, oh bloody hell, here we go. Luckily gets chalked off, and then kind of in like the commentary said, they're bigging it up to Southampton. He's brought on these substitutions, Nathan Jones, thinking they're going to make the change. And then what comes of it? A free kick in from Douglas Luiz. Ollie Watkins nods it in, getting the better of Lycara. It does go to VAR. He's clearly onside, but we get the goal. And it's the man who's got a lot of, responsibility now. Obviously, Danny Ings been sold in the midweek. Jean Duran not really being with the Villa team right now. It's Ollie Watkins currently on his own, and he's got to deliver, and what a better way to make an impact than scoring today. Now that's going to make you think Ollie Watkins can step up. We already know he can step up. He did it in his first season here. He can do it, and ultimately that is a big goal for him, and it's going to be something that he's going to be craving considering what has been going on with the transfer window. But like I said, really, for the most of the game, bugger all, absolutely dire to watch at times. As I said, I think Villa were the better team. I think the football at times was much more composed. We looked like we know what we were actually doing. Again, just like, I was saying this to my dad the other day, not in the sense of a new manager bounce, but actually someone that's come in and feels like we've actually got a manager who knows what they're doing. There is an actual plan, there's a structure, there's a way we want to play our football. At times it was a little bit dicey, especially trying to pass it around the back to move it ball forward. But it didn't feel like Southampton were posing much of a threat. Now, whether that's just because of the lack of firepower or because of Villa defensively being strong, which I think they were doing today. Obviously Alex Moreno getting his full debut. I thought Conor and Mings had a really solid game as well. And the likes of Ashley Young, who's really starting to flourish again at his age, giving Cash a run for his money. It's positive to see. It just needs to be a little bit more. I was a little bit worried about inconsistency today, but like I said, sometimes when you get that result late into the game and you finally get the 3 points, we're not going to be looking back at what we want to see performance-wise. We're just going to be thinking, we've got 3 points here, we've done the job. Considering Chelsea and Liverpool drew today, that still puts us in a really respectable 11th place. We're only 5 points off, I believe, from... Well, we're only 3 points off from top 6, 5 points off from 5th in Tottenham, and a point still behind Chelsea. We've got a 5-point gap now from Crystal Palace. It's looking decent. It is looking decent right now. Obviously, the next game is Leicester City at home, and considering the way Leicester have been this season, you've got to think we can take advantage of that, and that'll be another solid 3 points there. Is a lot to build upon, lot to be. Yes, yes, yes. Villa, ultimately, though, it's a good result, isn't it? As I said, people coming into this game thinking we were going to be drawing. But, you know, we got that little bit of positivity, that little tinge of positivity. It's amazing what Villa can do and what they can actually produce for the game. In terms of the players, then, really, I thought Bailey did quite well in the first half, looked a bit energetic, looked really nice on his left foot as well. Some of the balls that he was bringing in, although sometimes you've got to think, just a little bit more. Nice to see Jacob Ramsey back into the fold as well. I thought he really bring something that we've been missing in the sense of that young bit of hungry, like pitbull energy, just rushing at players midfield. And that's something that we need. Perhaps I'd still like to see McGinn back into the fold, just as someone to bully them a lot. Something like what we could have done with last week against Leeds. I've had to give him man of the match. I'm going to give it to Ollie Watkins. You know, big responsibility, as I said, with Danny Ings now gone. He goes and gets the goal at a very important stage in the game when perhaps, you know, everyone's thinking Southampton are going to pile on the pressure. They get the goal. It's this loud, but then Villa ultimately capitalise and get the 3 points there. I just think ultimately today, just composure, a nice solid performance, bit of shaky moments, you know, but when you're readjusting the team still, new players will still be coming in and out. He's still got to find what he wants to expand upon in these areas of the team. Let him do his work and you can clearly see what we're getting. We're getting a team that is going to flourish, a team that is going to excel under Unai Emery compared to Steven Gerrard. And ultimately, results like this today just back what you want to believe in the Claret and Blue Army. So there's my instant match reaction. Tell us in the comments and social media pages down below what you thought and who your man of the match was. But it does finish Southampton 0, Aston Villa 1. Villa end the weekend on another 3 points. As I said, it is Leicester next week on Saturday, 3 PM again. Can the Villa boys do it? You bloody better hope so. But yeah. From me to now, up the Villa with the pride of Villa. We'll see you later, boys.